"Stop monsters killing our babies," said one of the placards at Monday's protests in support of 3-year-old Moko, killed by 2 people caring for him. But our babies keep getting killed and less noticed by the media, and the protesters, they keep getting hurt day after day after day. Dr. Patrick Kelly is a paediatrician and Starship Hospital's child protection team leader. The buck stops with us all, he thinks, particularly with the people most likely to see children who are being abused: doctors, teachers, neighbours. And when we see, we have to say. The problem is, how do we say? And what do you say, and who do you say it to? Dr. Kelly says people who deal with children, including doctors, need more training about the right way to respond to evidence of abuse, because the very brutal reality is that the number of children being abused in New Zealand isn't decreasing.
And in fact, if you look at the trend over the last 20 years, they've been going steadily up at a rate that actually exceeds the rate of population increase. So I think it's a genuine increase, not just a change in recognition.
Which means that all the strategies to address these issues aren't as effective as we would hope?
No, I think that's correct.
So what needs to happen?
To be completely honest, I don't know that I know the answer, but I think that the scope and extent of the problem has to be taken very seriously, because I think the children that I see with abusive head trauma or other kinds of severe or fatal abuse are only the tip of the iceberg. I commend the desire of people in social policy and people in Wellington to make a difference, but I think the trend tends to be, to think this can only be solved by changes in social policy, and to some extent that's true. I mean, if we could address child poverty, if we could eliminate the sea of cheap alcohol in which the country floats, if we could address unemployment and overcrowding and all those other things, then yes, they would have an important effect. But I think also society as a whole has to step up and change our approach to the priority we give to children living within families. And I suppose my preoccupation, if you like, working within the health system is on energising the health system and the health workforce to understand what an important role they could have, rather than thinking that this is a problem that we need to refer to a social worker to solve.
Can you clarify what that important role is?
Well, if you as a health professional have a real concern about the welfare of a child, you owe it both to the child and to their family to be honest with them. It's not about being punitive. It's about saying, if we don't change something here, I'm seriously concerned that something bad is going to happen to your child. And the fact of the matter is that many, in fact, most families in which a child is abused or neglected contains adults who love and care for that child. A kind of a simplistic idea that the only people who abuse children hate children simply isn't true. So I think we can actually ally with families and work alongside them, potentially in a far more powerful way as health professionals than outsiders such as child, youth and family social workers or police officers may be able to do. But if we're going to do that, we have to be better skilled at raising these kind of issues and knowing what to do if we get a positive response.
So when did you last see a case of abuse or neglect, or one of your staff members?
Today.
And without going into details, what sort of details that would identify the child, what sort of injuries did he or she have?
Well, head injuries, I think, yes, I mean, today, but we've within the week have seen children who've been raped, adolescents who've been raped, children who've been physically assaulted in various ways, children who've been neglected, the whole range of abuse and neglect in children from 0 to 19. And for many of those children, it carries on for far too long. So we do need more than just policy from above. We actually, I think, need change in the attitude and behaviour of a lot of people at a lot of different levels of society, from within families to within professions such as the health profession or the teaching profession, through to what we do about what we hear or see next door in our neighbours' houses, through to the issues of social policy.